us.
Good morning, guests and fellow Toastmasters. A very warm welcome to all of you today at the Gabbys Toastmasters meeting. I'm sure you're as excited as I am. Today I joined on time and the meeting started on time, so you all better be excited. The meeting is blocked for the next 2 hours, and we're expected to be here for the next 2 hours, listening to everybody and encouraging the entire team to perform better and the speakers, evaluators to get better and better, and preferably with your videos on and audios off. Because if you have the audios on, everyone might get interrupted. So please keep your videos on and audios off throughout the meeting so that you're there to motivate and encourage everyone in the meeting. Regarding the topics of sex, religion, and politics, even though Toastmasters International does not put any restriction on speaking on these topics, at the Gabbys Toastmasters Club, we prefer all the speakers and role takers to be mindful and responsible about talking about these sensitive topics. We also urge you to be cognizant of the fact that we as a club practice diversity and inclusion in letter and in spirit. Hence, ensure that there are no sexist, racist, or any such undertones which create hostility and discomfort with members or other guests. With that, let me now call upon our presiding officer for the meeting. He is a teacher, a trainer, coach in the domain of construction. He has trained over 7,500 plus professionals in the last decade itself. With his coaching, he has impacted over 500 plus professionals' lives. In addition, with his experience of 3 decades, he is a consultant who checks the health of occupied buildings. If you don't know him already, here is to our PO, the presiding officer for the meeting, DTM Nagesh.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for my introduction. Happy morning, everybody. Welcome to this meeting of the Gabbys. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, you're audible.
Thank you. I declare this meeting number 142 open. We'll talk about the guests later on because there are people still joining in. We'll take that a little bit later. But I want to talk about something very interesting this Saturday morning while we are at 10 o'clock. The theme of the meeting was something that was very intriguing to me when I saw the poster. If you're dating somebody, you would go out with them regularly because you're having or may soon have a romantic relation with them. These were the thoughts that came into my mind, and it took me back several years. This also helps you know each other better. Somewhere I read, it is kind of showing your love and affection publicly. Is that so? If that is so, I'm still in romance. Some of you or most of you or few of me have seen this romance already. You all should know it started when I was 16, very young age. And I feel I'm very, very fortunate. But I don't know if 16 is the right age to date and show your romance publicly. I'm not sure. And romance each day has given me lots of love, compassion, and respect. It grew each day when I started it at 16. And each day I swelled with pride. It has given me respect, to a great extent name, and made me famous as well. It has stood with me in the test of time. Then why shouldn't I call it my date each day? My date has never let me down. The more I trusted, more it has reciprocated. The more I have invested time in my date, more it has given me value. And more I have wanted my date to be on my side, rain or shine, it's been with me. I would say my date is my life, not my knife. Now, who says that it has to be a person, somebody living? If you think that it has to be living, then it has lived with me in my heart, in my soul, and it is my love. Any guesses? Who am I talking about? Okay.
Your love for public speaking?
Oh, it's very close to it. It's my professional work. I love my work and will continue to work till I can physically. Why I say this? Because I believe when mind is willing, body should also romance with it to create a rhythm. Talking about rhythm, many of you would agree that most of the melodies have come from Tollywood, Pushpa, RRR, Ponniyin Selvan, and many old movies as well. These are the recent ones. But why am I talking about Tollywood? The person perhaps who will take us through more about dates, love, affection, romance is somebody who's a Jaipuria, but currently living in Hyderabad. Maybe he will talk about love romances of his life or his business, since he is a business analyst in a startup, that too at Hyderabad. He is my twin brother, I would say, as far as hobbies is concerned. Reading, writing, watching movies, magic, dancing, and discovering new places. One thing we differ, he didn't talk about food. With that introduction, may I call upon our TMOD of the day, Ayush Goyal, onto the stage. Over to you, TMOD.
Thank you, DTM Nagesh, for that wonderful introduction, and welcome everyone to this Gabbys meeting. So today we would be talking about the first dates. What is a first date? It is an opportunity to make the first impression, and how this date go depends how the future dates are going to go. It is setting the base for everything. So it's obvious to feel nervous, jittery, and maybe confused on how to plan these dates and be scared about what if some goof ups happen. So today we would to be talking all about that. But before that, I would like to explain the structure of this Toastmasters meeting. There will be three sections. The first section will be the prepared speeches, where the speakers have written and prepared their speeches and they would be presenting them in a range of 5 to 7 minutes. The second section would be a table topic section. In this section, guests and members would be called upon to speak impromptu on any given topic. And the third, but not the last least, would be our evaluation section, where we would get to know how all the role takers and meeting did in general. And for the evaluation section, I have a person with me, the general evaluator. Our general evaluator for today is one second. Is Toastmaster Abhishek. Toastmaster Abhishek has been a Toastmaster for 2.5 years now. His achievement in Toastmasters is that he has been a treasurer, VP Education, and president of the oldest community club of Eastern India, Kolkata Toastmasters Club. Won third position in international speech contest 2 years in a row at the club level. Won second, first, and third position in table topics at club, area, and division level this year. Was second at club level table topics last year as well. Currently, he is serving as area director of area H1. Over to you, Toastmaster Abhishek. Please introduce your role and your team.
Give a round of applause to Toastmaster Ayush for his start of the meeting. So, who is a general evaluator? A general evaluator is someone who keeps an eye from the start to the end of the meeting. Like a principal who keeps an eye over the entire school. I, as a general evaluator, is supposed to keep an eye over the entire meeting. Before I start my role, I'll apologize to the team for being late because I was stuck in traffic and couldn't join in before SAR started the meeting. And because I have to start from the point 0 till point Z, it's a humongous task. Am I not audible? So it's a humongous task. So I can't do this job all alone. And in Toastmasters, we always learn that there is no I in the team. So it's always the team. So I have a bunch of people who will be helping me out in executing this particular job. First, now let me introduce you to someone who will make sure that we maintain the first and foremost discipline in a public speaking. It is the time. So we have Toastmaster Triveni Kali, an IT professional who loves cooking and drawing as the timer for the day. Toastmaster Triveni, if you can just introduce your role, please.
Thank you so much, Chandra Evaluator. Good morning, Toastmasters and my dear guests. I am the timer for today's meeting. I will note down a timing how much time each speaker took for their speeches. For prepared speeches, time limit is 5 to 7 minutes. At 5 minutes, I will be showing green card. At 6, yellow. At 7 minutes, I will be showing red card. For icebreaker speech, time limit is 4 to 6 minutes. At 4 minutes, I will be showing green card. At 6, yellow. At 7, red card. For table topic speeches, time limit is 1 to 2 minutes. At 1 minute, I will be showing green card. At 1.5 yellow. At 2 minutes, red card. For evaluation, time limit is 2 to 3 minutes. At 2 minutes, I will be showing green card. At 2.5 yellow. At 3 minutes, red card. I will be back with my report when called by general evaluator. Thank you. Over to you.
Toastmaster Triveni, if you can just show the audience how you will be showing your cards, whether you will be changing your background or you will be changing the video.
Yeah, sure. Am I visible?
Yes.
Yeah, green, yellow, and red.
Thank you. So next in the line, we have a person who will be giving us a brief about the mistakes which we do while speaking unmoving. What are these mistakes? I'll allow the individual or the role player to elaborate. But before that, I will elaborate her profile as being an educator and a researcher. Is an alumna of St. Stephen's College. She has a specialized in modern history, worked with NEETI projects with Piramal Foundation as a content developer. Currently, she is working as an assistant content manager at LXL Ideas, uses film pedagogy to foster essential life skills globally. She is a mom, a foodie, an ardent reader, a movie buff, an abstract artist, a huge introvert, into vocals, and loved old rock music like Phil Collins and Furness. Oh my God. An individual can't have so many qualities or so many likings. I would love to hear Toastmaster Abigail Verghese as our counter.
Hi, thank you, Abhishek, for such elaborate description. So I'm your counter for today. So I'll help you out with finding how many ums and ahs and okays and hms you use. Why do you think it would be distracting if someone is using a lot of crutch words and filler words? So I was listening to a video recently about cyberbullying. A woman was confessing about cyberbullying, and she was using a lot of ums and ahs and ums. So in the 30 minutes video, I was not able to listen to her carefully about such a crucial topic. So if you want to like effectively deliver and you want the person to listen and understand you, it'll be really nice if you can avoid the words to improve your effective speech. So I'll help you out in that process today. Yeah, over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Abigail. So now I have another individual who will be helping us out in maintaining our sentences in a grammatical order. Now, what is the importance of grammar? Okay, now I had a different name in agenda, but I'm seeing Toastmaster Dhwani as a grammarian now. So I would love to have her on stage. And you must have already heard Toastmaster Dhwani as your sergeant at arms. I don't have much of her introduction because I think this was a last moment change and I was not aware of it. So Toastmaster Dhwani, if you can just highlight how important grammar is in our public speaking skills and how you are going to help us out in the same.
Thank you so much, General Evaluator. So slight change. I was in the Sergeant at Arms. So Chitrakshi was, but nevertheless, yes. So the word of the day for today is allure, which means a quality of being powerfully or mysteriously attractive. How can we use this word in a sentence? There is something alluring about him or her. I was mesmerized by the alluring beauty of Ladakh. I encourage everybody to use the word of the day as much as possible. And for the people who use the word of the day, please show a thumbs up to encourage them. With that, I would also be taking a keen note in the certain incorrect usages in the meeting and certain good usages in the meeting. I wish everybody a happy learning, and yes, back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Dhwani. That was really an alluring way of you giving your role. So now we have someone who will be helping us out in one of the qualities of a speaker. You are not a good speaker if you're not a good listener. So I have someone who is a chartered accountant like me, and I'm married to a wonderful and lovely wife named Sushma Jain, who herself is a chartered accountant. Blessed with two lovely children, this particular individual has a lot of things common with me. I like traveling, he likes traveling. I like cricket, he likes cricket. The only uncommon thing between us is the chess love which he has. Please welcome on the stage our listener of the day, Toastmaster Sanjay Jain.
Yeah, thank you, Abhishek. Good morning, Toastmasters and distinguished guests. As a listener, my role will be to note the interesting tidbits of the information from any of the speaker and ask the questions near the end of the meeting to see if everyone was paying attention. Thank you, Abhishek. You can continue. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sanjay, for such crisp and small introduction, which has been, I think, has made us listen to everyone very, very carefully. So now with that, these are my team who will be helping me out in evaluating the entire meeting. And I will be back with my team and my reports at the end after the table topic session. Till that time, relax and enjoy the wonderful meeting which we are going to have. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Abhishek, for explaining the role and introducing the role takers. Now, back to the theme. Two things can happen on a first date. Either it can go fine or it can go bad. I have had both experiences. I've been on a date in which we instantly clicked and were lured to each other, and we remained in touch for a long time. And there was a time when I went with a date to a comedy show on a first date, and the comedian made fun of something which she was very passionate about. I didn't know that, and the jokes were good. So that was the end. So like now, I would like to ask someone to come up and tell about their one good dating experience and one goof up. So who would like to share, or should I call someone to just share? Okay, Toastmaster Chitrakshi, please share one good experience and one bad experience.
Okay, one very good experience for me was when I had just finished a project and I had to go on a date, and this person who I was going on a date with said he would make me try some Japanese sushi, some sushi and sake bombs. And I was so happy. In 1.5 hours, I knew that I was only here for the sake bombs and sushi, and this person was terrible. Then I ended up dating him for 2.5 years. I'm still dating him. So that was one really good experience. And this was also a goof up. So, well, I have one date, my first date, which is a great goof up and experience in itself. Over to you, Toastmaster English.
So one takeaway is that we just need to find that one food that keeps the person with us. Now, anyone else has some interesting story? Okay, I would call just.
I don't. Ayush, if I can go next.
Yes, DDM Nancy.
I don't have an interesting story, but rather, I went out with a friend for a dinner, and then after a couple of days, this person was like, "Oh, our date was just so good." And I'm like, "Was that a date?" I'm still not sure what is a date. What is the time when you can call it a date? So if you can elaborate more on that towards the end of the meeting, that would be highly appreciated.
Yes, DDM Nancy, that remains a mystery when you are just going for dinner and the other person just don't know. Now, okay, we would be back with more questions. Now, we would be moving on to our first section, that is the prepared speeches section. So, the first speaker is DTM Nancy, and for evaluating her, we have DTM Nagesh. DTM Nagesh is a teacher, trainer, and coach in the domain of construction. He has trained over 7,500 plus professionals in the last decade. With his coaching, he has impacted over 500 plus professionals' lives. In addition, with his experience of over 3 decades, he is a consultant who checks the health of occupied buildings. So, DTM Nagesh, please tell the project objectives of DTM Nancy. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster. My target speaker, if I can say that, I'm not targeting the speaker, is attempting the first speech in her visionary communication path. That's the icebreaker speech. Timer, please note it is 4 to 6 minute speech. 4, 5, and 6 is how the timer cards would come. Coming to the objective, there are two objectives of this particular speech. One is to reintroduce herself to this club so that we get to know her a little more better is what is the first objective. And the second objective is to note the nuances of creating a good speech and presenting it to all of us here in the meeting. Back to you, TMOD.
Thank you, DTM Nagesh. DTM Nancy is a certified image consultant and personal branding coach. She is the VP Education of the Gabbys Toastmaster Club. DTM Nancy, furball to fireball. Furball to fireball, DTM Nancy.
How many of you were present when I delivered my first icebreaker speech? Just kidding, no one. Not even a Aparna. It was just DTM Saurabh who was present during the meeting. I delivered my icebreaker speech, but that's a story I'll share later towards the first course of my speech itself. As VP Education of the club, I know that I cannot repeat my speech, my first icebreaker speech, knowing that hardly anyone was there. But what I can do is I can share behind the scenes how I attempted my first icebreaker speech. When I joined Gabbys as a charter member of the club, I was unanimously elected as the president of the club. My ExCom consisted of all the stalwarts you know today: Toastmaster Parna Raja, Toastmaster Lakshmi Sujata, distinguished Toastmaster Saurabh Datta, and few others. I was the second youngest Toastmaster of the entire club and the first most pampered, a fur ball to all. As we progressed further, a few weeks into the tenure, all the members of my club started delivering their icebreaker speeches. Everyone was enjoying the show. And suddenly, one day, I got a call from our VP Education, then VP Education. Nancy, when are you delivering your icebreaker speech? Everyone else has delivered it already. Lead from the front. You are the president. I'm the president? Oh, as if I didn't know this already. But that was my challenge. I was the president of the club. I was feeling all throughout. What if I deliver my speech and somebody comes forward and says, Nancy, before you start leading, learn how to speak. This was constantly nagging me throughout, this one thought. And that's why I couldn't muster up enough courage to deliver my icebreaker speech for 78 days. Finally, I got such a nag and a push from our VP Education that I delivered my icebreaker speech, my first icebreaker speech, after 78 days outside the club. It was not the rule then, so don't give me those looks. I was the one due to which this rule was implemented. Post that, I think there was this little fire to this spur, and I started delivering more and more speeches. I started coming up front, taking up leadership roles, and there was no going back. I would be lying if I say so. Anyway, for some time, there was no going back. I was the first path breaker who completed her path within 21 days. I became the second fastest distinguished Toastmaster. With this came a lot of responsibility. The title, everything that I've done in the past 2.5 years. When everyone in the club was congratulating me, I started feeling a lot of self-doubt. I started feeling that someone someday would come forward and say, you know what? You are not who everyone thinks you are. Just learn speaking. This thought kept on eating me. I stopped taking up roles. I stopped taking up speeches, delivering speeches. I stopped coming forward. For any opportunity coming my way, it was a no. More so, we added a lot of new members. For them, wherever I was going, whoever I was meeting, everyone was like, oh, she's the DTM. She must be good. I started getting these text messages from so many members. Nancy, I really want to hear how you speak. So innocent they are, but they didn't know how it's impacting me. I started feeling even more scared. My personal challenges were rampant. My life took a toll, things were haywire. With that, every day became a challenge. Every day was just too tough to survive. I was getting more and more into my own cocoon, became a fur again. 10 days back, I got a call from, all of a sudden, from a women's platform called Shinomics. They wanted me to deliver a session on imposter syndrome. Probably that was my wake-up call. That's when I realized that no, before delivering any session, I need to first come out of my imposter syndrome. I need to take the plunge. And the moment somebody mentioned that, Nancy, I won't be able to take up this speed slot, I was like, okay, I'll do it. And then I gave it a thought. Am I ready for it? But I was not. I made myself ready for it. And I accepted the session too. After all of this, I'm not expecting that things will be all of a sudden, again, just so glorifying. Or challenges won't look like challenges anymore. This is not a Bollywood movie. All I'm saying is I got a little spark to my fur again, and I'm ready to be a fireball again. And that's the story of your VP Education, Distinguished Toastmaster, Nancy Gordon. Thank you.
Thank you, DTM Nancy. As customary, as it was an icebreaker speech, we will all stand up and give an standing ovation. So I request everyone to stand. So thank you, DTM Nancy. Now moving on to a second speech. A second speaker is Toastmaster Ritvik, and he is being evaluated by Toastmaster Paduka. Toastmaster Paduka Kannan has been a Toastmaster for more than 4 years. She is a pathbreaker and was the past president of TCS Maitri Bangalore Club, which achieved President Distinguished status and won multiple awards during her tenure. Her motto is to thrive and to do so with some passion, compassion, humor, and style. So, Toastmaster Paduka, please come forward and tell the speech objectives of Toastmaster Ritvik.
All right. Thank you, Toastmaster Ayush. Good morning, Gabbys. Looks like I'm still in yesterday's night. All right. So to Toastmaster Ritvik, who is attempting his level 2 speech 2 of Path Presentation Mastery. So the purpose of the project is for the member to deliver a speech with the awareness of intentional and unintentional body language, as well as to learn and practice and refine how he uses non-verbal communication when delivering a speech. And timer, please note the time is from 5 to 7 minutes. And all the best to my target speaker. Over to you, Toastmaster Ayush.
Toastmaster Ritvik is a product manager by profession, content creator by passion, with 8 years of work experience and currently working with Microsoft. In his free time, he likes creating content and passionate about photography, traveling, and video making. Toastmaster Ritvik, Chronicles of My First Trek. Chronicles of My First Trek, Toastmaster Ritvik.
Good morning, fellow Toastmasters, dear guest. Today, I am going to talk about my first trek and why it has stayed with me till date. So this was the trek to Pulpit Rock in Norway, and we were around 10 friends planning, at least I was planning my first trek, and some of them were experienced already. So I reached the morning very full with enthusiasm, exactly like this. Now, one of the briefing which our friend has given that, hey, you need to travel light. So the trek is moderate by any standards, but for someone like me who is attempting his first trek, I don't know what was in store for me, but I was super excited. So my friends tell me, hey, what, Ra? You are going to hike like this with this much of baggage? What is in there? We don't have to go and settle there. Hey, don't worry, Ra. I will take care of this. I am quite fit and I'm sure I will manage it. Just a 5 kilometers roundabout, right? So you take care of others. And then my journey starts. So we were going around the trek. For the first fourth of the journey, I actually kept my promise. I was actually spearheading the group and actually giving my friends a grimacing look. Hey, come fast here. You're not even carrying any baggage and you're running behind. Come fast. We need to spend most of the time on the top. In between, we were mesmerized by the alluring beauty of the valley, of the mountains. And of course, what I was carrying was my camera and tripod. And I had to stop everyone to take the picturesque and the selfies. And suddenly, all of us were like, hey, that's quite cool. I put my camera in the self-timer mode. And while we were taking our selfie, before I realized one of the leg of the tripod was trembling. And I suddenly realized that it started falling down with the gust of wind coming in. I had to go back in the nick of time and I was able to catch the camera somehow. My heart was pounding like a hammer. I checked my camera with my bated breath if it is still fine. I heaved a huge sigh of relief, knowing that it was working fine. After that, I knew this is a complete unknown terrain for me, and I need to be extra cautious. After that, my fitness level started showing on of me, and then I was already lagging behind the rest of the group. Anyway, I continued lingering on. There were steep ascents which we had to cross, and there was one small lane wherein I couldn't see what is leading to the other side. I was still faking it that I could do it, and I tried to go over that path, and again suddenly I realized that I'm already slipping. And this time, this incident left me shaken to the core. I knew I can't fake it anymore. I had to ask for help. And that's when I asked my friend that, hey, I need help. And now it was their turn to have a grimacing look on me. Hey, what, Ra? You were telling this and all? What happened? Give me your bag. I will take care. Now, one of my friend lend me a helping hand. I knew I was not climbing a mountain, right? Where a difference of a step or a misstep means the difference between a life and death. But for me, at that point in time, my mind had frozen. I didn't know what to do. And that's where my friend took this heavy bag that I carry with all the accessories. Finally, we reached on the top of Pulpit Rock, and we're greeted by a mesmerizing view with, it's a monolithic rock, and then there are gorges of water, and then there was a heavy wind, the hurricane-like wind flowing over there. One thing about Pulpit Rock is that you do not have railings anywhere, and that's why that was the most frightening part for me. The entire trek took, we came back, we had quite a gala time there. But the reason why I still remember this trek to my heart is because of these two takeaways. Apart from, of course, the picturesque and the right part. Number one, you ask for help when required. You ask for help when required, be it your friends, family, mentors. And number second, you cannot underscore or give enough importance to fitness ever. Of course, I was 10 kgs heavier those days. I'm still far from perfect and still know I have a lot of work to do, but I will just pause here. So that's my time. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, TM Rizvik. I think that will inspire a lot of people to work on their fitness and go on new treks. Can you have a round of applause for Toastmaster Rizvik? Yes, something is wrong with my earphone. I cannot hear anyone. Like, can we try again?
We can hear you.
Muted. Yes. No, I could not hear the applause.
I think you can visualize.
Yeah, applauded on mute, that's why.
We were all mute and we were applauding.
Okay.
Visualize.
Now, we would move on to our next speech. The third speaker is Toastmaster Sanjana, and she would be evaluated by DTM Saurav. DTM Saurav is a distinguished Toastmaster, has achieved 2 DTM awards, 3 triple crowns, and completed 8 paths. The VP PVR of both Gabbys Toastmasters Club and Gabbys Online Toastmaster Club. Please tell the speech objectives of Toastmaster Sanjana. Over to you, DTM Saurav.
Thank you so much. Our speaker today is attempting the speech, a speech on the project Introduction to Toastmasters Mentoring. This is the third project of the second level of her path, Persuasive Influence. The purpose of this project is for the member to clearly define how Toastmasters envisions mentoring. The purpose of this speech is for the member to share some aspect of a previous experience as a protege. The member completing this project is developing an understanding of Toastmasters mentoring. This speech is about a time when the member was a protege
It may be from any time in his or her life. The member may discuss any aspect of the protege experience. The speech should not be a report on the content of the Introduction to Toastmasters Mentoring project. Apart from the standard parameters like clarity, vocal variety, eye contact, gestures, audience awareness, comfort level, there are two key parameters for this particular speech and the project. One is the interest. I'm sorry, for the speech. One is the interest. Is the member able to engage the audience with the interesting, well-constructed content? And second is topic. Is she sharing a relevant personal experience as a protege? Timer, please note that the timing for this speech is 5 to 7 minutes. All the best to the target speaker. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Toastmaster Sanjana is a student of IIT Varanasi and is currently pursuing her BTech plus MTech in Math and Computing. She loves riding her dad's Meteor, playing badminton, writing books on business, trekking, and wakeboarding. She is keen to start her own brand that will bring about a positive change in our society. Toastmaster Sanjana, you can do it. You can do it, Toastmaster Sanjana. Toastmaster Sanjana?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was so engrossed in looking for my next speech slot that I completely forgot it was speech time. This reminds me of my first day at the Gabbys. I remember since the day DTM Saurav added me to the Gabbys WhatsApp group, I had been hunting for an opportunity to speak. And there it came. Toastmaster Aparna messaged regarding a vacant evaluator role in an Egyptian club. And I grabbed it. Don't know which express train I was in a hurry to catch. I hadn't even been registered officially as a member of the Gabbys. But it's okay. I just wanted to start speaking. I had no clue how Toastmaster evaluation worked. But Aparna sent me a couple of resources and she said, "Hey, Sanjana, just go through these resources and you'll be good to go for today's meeting. I know it's a new role for you, but you can do it." Listening to those encouraging words, whatever little regret I had for choosing a role I'd never even heard of before, just vanished. I wouldn't say the evaluation that day was great, but it certainly was above par, and I was satisfied. Fellow Toastmasters and my dear guests, this is how my Toastmaster journey started, evaluating my very mentor, Toastmaster Aparna. As a mentor, I thought she would just give me a to-do list crafted from her previous public speaking experience, and I would have to strictly follow it stepwise. But as I progressed, I understood what mentorship truly is. And let's see how. I was ready to take the challenges my way with Aparna by my side. And there was my first challenge, looking directly into my eyes. My icebreaker speech. The evaluation resource read, the purpose of the speech is for the speaker to deliver a 4 to 6 minute speech where she has to introduce herself. And the only introduction I had given till date was, "Hello, myself Sanjana Garai, an undergrad at IIT BHU pursuing my BTech plus MTech in Maths and Computing." And the only idea I got for the speech was to repeat this very sentence 50 times over. I was completely baffled. And there came to my rescue my master mentor, Aparna. And she said, "Hey, Sanjana, let's try something different this time. Instead of telling your entire personal life history, why don't you introduce a particular aspect of your life so that the club gets to know you better?" What an idea. After 5 hours of brainstorming, I got the speech script ready. After 3 hours of practicing, I made a recording of the delivery and I sent it to Aparna. I expected her to suggest 101 changes, but she just said, "Great, you can do it." And my icebreaker speech went something like this. Let me show you how. Full of energy, but out of control. Frustrated, I called Aparna. And she said in her soothing voice, "Hey, Sanjana, that was a great icebreaker. We just need to work on 2 things, your pace and your pauses. This will happen gradually. Don't worry, we'll do it together." Exactly how Toastmaster envisions mentoring, isn't it? To focus on the long-term goal of the mentee. From my icebreaker speech to the speech that I'm giving right now, she has reviewed every script, watched every recording prior to my delivery, and has attended every meeting to cheer me up. And after every evaluation, I still reach out to her for her evaluation. She never imposes feedback. She just asks, "Hey, Sanjana, how did you feel after giving the speech? What do you think you should improve on?" She lets me introspect myself and then gives her non-judgmental feedback, which is so very helpful. Her mentorship is not only limited to voice messages or voice calls. We even do video calls. I remember we did one before I delivered my speech, Understanding My Leadership Style, where we dissected my speech, adding emotions to each and every syllable, so that my speech not only resonated with people's ears, but touched the bottom of their hearts. Whatever time I'm giving the speech, whether it's time for her to take her kids to school in the morning, get them from school in the afternoon, spend time with them in the evening, or put them to sleep in the night, she always and always makes time for me. Toastmasters has redefined the way I think of mentorship. It's not just about giving a path to improvement. It's about forging personal connections so that the mentee herself can discover her own path to growth and self-awareness. Fellow Toastmasters and my dear guests, today, let us all unite and give a resounding applause to all our mentors, whether in Toastmasters or outside, who have worked tirelessly to uplift us, whispering those empowering words, "You can do it." Thank you.
Thank you, Dosana Sanjana. We are all grateful for our mentors. Now, can we have a huge round of applause? No. Okay, so that was our first section, the prepared speeches. Now we will move on with the theme of the meeting. Now back to our first date. One thing we need to do on a first date is to start a conversation, but we don't know how much to say or what to say because we don't want to sound boring. We want to tell more about ourselves, but we don't want to tell so much that the other person is scared away. So I would like to get some ideas from you people, the more experienced people, as to how can we start a conversation on a first date. So I think whom can ask? I think I can ask DTM Saurav for an advice for first conversation.
What was that?
An advice to start a first conversation on first date so that we don't scare off the person and don't sound boring.
Thank you for putting me in a spot. First of all, my first date was like when the dinosaurs walked the earth. So I'll have to first remember when was the first date, how to start a conversation on the The first date, I definitely don't remember what happened. But yeah, how to start? I have never started a conversation on a date. To be very honest, I've never even invited anyone on a date. So I'm more of that type. So I went on a date and the other person never knew it was a date. So that's me. So probably you can, there are more experts in the room. Nagesh sir definitely. Uh, and maybe Jitendra, I can see experienced people here. And then the more enthusiastic ones like Paduka and Chitrakshi and Dhwani. Yeah, so probably they'll help you. Sanjana, because she's busy doing speeches and playing badminton. So I'm not sure she'll have time for a date. But yeah, the other ones.
Okay, Saurav, I will take your advice and ask DTM Nagesh. DTM Nagesh, please tell a conversation starter. You told you were dating since 16, so you must be having some.
Hey man, I will start with Oh Ma Mataji. Date me? No way. I have not had dates with Matajis also. I'm very bad at it. I'm very bad at it. But having other people start conversation, probably I can tell you what I have heard, some weird things. In restaurants, in parks. I've not gone those places with dates, but I have overheard some few weird things. A boy telling a girl saying that, I like that color of your dress. I also have a similar dress. I wonder, how will a boy have a similar dress with him? It can't be, unless the girl is wearing a shirt. And this is such a beautiful park. I think we should come here every day walking. And I wonder, for regular walkers, there's no path there for them to walk and have their morning walks. And these two boys and girl, this boy and girl couple, trying to figure out if they can come there every day in that crowd, having a date in a park early in the morning. Possible? It's so weird. There are many such stories I can go on, but I would stop here and give back the control to the team.
Yes, Toastmaster Nagesh, going to the park might be weird because people. But now I would like to ask for just one more person. Who else can come and give a good advice? Okay, I guess PM Paduka. Some advice on conversation starters.
To be very, very honest, I've never gone on a date at all. The only date that I've gone is when the parents arrange for your arranged marriage, right? Like go and meet someone, go and meet this person, go and meet that person. So I have no clue about how these dates or things are going to be. I'm someone who speaks well to everybody, to the crowd and all, but in general, internet, I'm a bit of a shy person to go on dates and stuff like that. So sorry.
No, even in arranged marriage, that's a kind of a date only. So there also we have to start a conversation.
So generally the arranged marriage dates, they'll start with, hello, my name is this, and I have done this, I've done this schooling, I have done that schooling, and I have gone to this college, I've gone to this college. So I think the dates that generally you arrange for yourself and the one with your parents arrange, definitely it should be very different, is what my take. But yeah, I would love to hear from others as well.
Thank you, TM Paduka. If anyone else would like to share their suggestions. Okay, so anyway, I cannot get you on spot. So I have a person who can. So we will move on to our table topic section. Our table topic master for today is Toastmaster Mamta. She is a software developer at Cognizant, Bangalore. She hails from the steel city of India, Bokaro, Jharkhand. Yes, the MS Dhoni's land. Hope to meet him one day. Her hobbies are traveling and clicking lots of Instagrammable photos, and she recently covered Darjeeling, Ooty, and Kurg. Over to you, Toastmaster Mamta. Set the stage on fire.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Ayush, for the lovely introduction. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and my dear guests. Welcome to the second segment of our meeting, that is the table topic round. Why table topic? We already have the prepared speech, then why table topic? Table topic is something which teaches you to speak impromptu. Like in real life scenarios, you might be very good in the prepared speeches, but in real life scenarios, you come across situations like the last minute client presentation or the last minute call with your manager or anything else where you need to think and speak instantly. So this is the round where you can train your brain muscles and do great in those areas. So here I'm going to give you a topic. You need to take that topic and just speak for at least 1 minute. And let's see how it goes. So can we have the volunteers?
Can
Okay, I can see Dhwani. Okay, so Dhwani, the topic for you is, what is your idea of a perfect date? I repeat, what is your idea of a perfect date?
Till date, I have not got a perfect date, to be honest. So for me, a perfect date, what it would look like is when not doing the mainstream, that a man comes and, asks you or escorts you. No, that's not my style. My style is we are equal and the guy is as jovial as me, crack funny jokes while talking to each other and not taking everything seriously for whatever I say, and just having a good time, spending a good time, doing the small little things. Actually, I love stand-up comedies. So recently when I was in Bangalore, I met somebody while we were clubbing, and the next day we went on a date together. We planned a date. Actually, not we, I did it. I planned a date with him, and I told him that there's a stand-up comedy happening of one of the very Akash Gupta, one of the very famous stand-up comedian. It was in Bangalore. And I planned that date, and I asked him, are you interested for going on this rather than going for a simple boring dinner? And the guy was like, yeah, absolutely, let's do this. We met. First of all, I had to go to Sarjapur, and Sarjapur is like another city itself in Bangalore. From Koramangala to Sarjapur, it was a task to do, but yeah, we went there. We went together. We enjoyed the stand-up comedy. We loved our asses off. We were having fun. We were enjoying, and then we went. Sorry, pardon me. And then we went on our dinner. We were growing over the fact that how we met, what are the things that we liked about each other, and how did we find the stand-up comedy. We spoke about our friends. So that's my style about, going on a date and just enjoying and being there in the moment with that person. So yeah.
Thank you, Toastmaster Dhwani, for sharing the story. And your story, the girl initiating a date with a guy, it's completely unique. And I hope everyone is going to be motivated, all the girls over here. Thank you for sharing. Next volunteer, please. I can see Toastmaster Chitrakshi. Okay, so topic for you is love blind? I repeat, is love blind?
Thank you for giving me this topic, because I think love can be blind, it can be deaf, and sometimes it has to be dumb. Because no matter what you do, when you like someone, when you're with someone, or when you fall in love with someone finally, there are times when you have to remember what Mahatma Gandhi fondly gave us. There will be millions of times when you want to say something and well, that's not the right time to say it. I remember, I have just mentioned my date. I remember going on my first date and feeling, wow, I hate this guy. I'm never seeing him again. He stands for everything that I'm very, very, very much against. And out of nowhere, 2 hours, 3 hours later, we ended up staying in that in the place for about after the closing hour. So everyone had to literally throw us out of the place and say, okay, thank you very much, please pay the bill and go. And then we were in the parking lot talking to all these guys, talking to each other, irrespective of what was happening around us, till the parking guy and the security guard finally said, I think it's time for you to go home. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. I don't know why I did that. I was with someone, I went on a first date with someone. I was totally against everything that he stood for, was something that I stood highly against. And 2.5 hours later, I feel, wow, okay, I'm still dating that guy. Am I blind? Was I blind to see this? But today I'm really happy. And I don't remember and don't know what I would have done otherwise. So love is definitely blind. And to make sure that you stay in love forever, you have to make sure that you're blind at times, even when you don't want to be.
I totally agree with Chitrakshi. Like, love is not even like only blind, it's deaf and dumb also. All right. Can we have the next volunteer? Yeah, I can see Jitendra. Jitendra, the topic for you is, imagine it's 2050. Would you mind going on a date with AI robots? Imagine it's 2050. Would you mind going on a date with AI robots?
Yeah. In 2050, everyone would be occupied with their own life. They will not be even bothered to get married or even look outside their own horizon. So, of course, the only option is robot who obeys your everything, who answers every question, who solves your all problems. So that is the only option left in 2050. Who can arrange your travel, who can look after your food, look after your health, everything. So I guess that is the ideal person to date, who can advise you in every situation, rather than the person who manipulate or see what benefits they can get out of it. So I guess that is the future we are heading, looking at how AI is transforming in each and every sector, starting from manufacturing to healthcare to you name it, and you have AI in everything. So before you even think of it, AI knows it, what they are going to do, what you are going to do next. So I guess future will be more towards AI, and that would be our partner who will stay with us forever without questioning how we are behaving or how we are as an individual. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Jitendra, for sharing. True, I totally agree. We can see AI in the manufacturing, AI in the banking, AI in the retail. Very soon we are going to see AI in the marriages also, AI in the bedroom also. Thank you. Can we have the next volunteer, please? Okay, great. I can see Upasna.
Yes.
Upasna, the topic for you is it better to have loved and lost or never loved at all? Is it better to have loved and lost or never loved at all?
So I believe that the first should be the one where you are loved and you get the feeling of love, how it is, how beautiful it makes you feel. And when you are loved, no matter if it is a red flag or a green flag, but when you are loved in the first few phases, the honeymoon phase, then you are not walking, you are floating in the air. Everything is so beautiful, as if you have worn a tinted glass, sunglasses, and you see everything so lovey-dovey. So I believe that it's better to be loved. And of course, when you love something or when you love someone, everything changes. The way even you speak, even your mundane things, even when you're brushing, you feel about that person, you think about that person. But then when you lose that person, or the person dumps you, then that's a heartbreak and that's very bad. even I've also gone through, and I guess many of them have gone through that feeling. But it is so beautiful to remember. Those memories are so beautiful that you cherish it forever until your last breath. And never loved is something which is like you never understand how it is to be loved. So I always believe that it's always good to be in love, hopelessly be in love. And if your heart breaks, it's okay. It's a process. You'll get another one. That's it.
Thank you, Basna, for sharing. I totally agree. Like, it's better to fall in love and get the heartbreak rather than having the FOMO of what is love, what is relationship, and all those stuff. Okay. Can we have the next volunteer?
I see a couple of guests here. Mamta, I see Akshata, Sudharma. Can you call? Can you check if you will be ready?
Okay, Akshata, can you please come on the camera?
It's okay if she doesn't come in the camera. If she's ready to take the topic first.
Hello. Hey, hi, Toastmaster Mamta. I'm sorry if it's okay if I'm not on the camera at least now. I mean, maybe from next session I would be on.
Sure.
I hope I'm audible. Yeah.
Yeah, you're audible. Okay, so Akshata, the topic for you is, who was your childhood actor or actress crush?
Okay. Who was my, okay, first of all, I thank each of you for giving me this opportunity to speak. So is it only the actor or the actress or both of them?
Anyone what you prefer, actor or actress?
Oh, okay. Well, I I had so many actor and actress as since it indicates crush, right? So I had so many. So it kept on changing as I aged, and it's not one particular actor or actress. So it were numerous actor and actress, I could say. So talking about my first crush was from Kannada movie Vishnuvardhan, and then later I started watching different regional languages and all, and it was shifted to Ranbir Kapoor, Akshay Kumar, and yeah, so many actor and actresses like that. So each of them have inspired me in their own way, and with their acting skills, and no matter, and there is a lot of difference between these three actors, and there is no much similarities as well, but somehow my crushes were these. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Akshata, for attempting the topic. I'm sure everyone over here would be having the childhood actor or actress crush. All right, can we have the next one? Next volunteer, please.
I can take it if no one is there.
All right, thank you, Abhishek.
No,
Abhishek.
this is Saurabh.
Okay, sorry, Saurav. So Saurav, the topic for you is, what are your thoughts on PDA, public display of affection? What are your thoughts on PDA, public display of affection?
So first of all, I generally don't thank the TTM for the topic, but I definitely want to thank you for this topic, because ever since I joined Toastmasters, and more importantly, ever since I became an area director, I forgot that PDA means public display of affection. So my definition of PDA for the last 2 years has been President's Distinguished Area. Okay, so let's be very clear about that. So in fact, I remember in the last year's DOTP, I heard two people having a conversation. They said that मेरा तो PDA होगा, मेरा तो PDA होगा. Like mine will be a PDA, mine will be PDA. I said, like, seriously, like in the public that they're saying like this, there's a scandal recipe right there. And then I discovered, no, they're talking about President's Distinguished Area. So now that you have, brought me back to the original definition of PDA, So what is my thought on PDA? I think that's exactly what people indulge in PDA don't want to know, right? They give a damn. What's my thought on their PDA? Because it's their affection, their display, their personal choice, right? So my only thought about PDA is that it just makes the bachelors and the heartbroken feel a little more bad, a little more dejected, a little more disgusted, a little more disappointed. So public display of affection, but the problem in today's world is that public display, when we were growing up, when we were in school, college and all, PDA used to happen at the last seat of the bus or in the taxi or in the park. Nowadays, PDA happens even on social media, on Instagram, Facebook. So there's no way running away from PDA. So my thought about PDA is that it will happen whether you like it or not. So if you're not fortunate enough to be with a partner who believes in PDA, just take it with a pinch of salt. Life is not fair. Whoever said life was fair, right? So just accept the reality and keep trying with the same partner, hopefully. And thank you so much. Back to you, TTM.
Thank you, DTM Saurav Datta, for sharing another full form of the PDA. I was not knowing that. Thank you for that. Can we have the next volunteer? TMOD of the day, can we go ahead with the evaluation, or we can take topics?
You have time for one more topic, so you can take.
Okay, so the last one, who is going to speak? Anyone who has not spoken?
I will take one. I am Sudharma.
Okay. Sudharma, thank you for volunteering. The topic for you is, one second. All right, the topic for you is, what would be your fairy tale wedding? I repeat, what would be your fairy tale wedding?
Fairy tale wedding. Yeah, if I have a fairy tale wedding, I would be like to go to a known area in our Sri Lanka. It's like a beautiful area in Sri Lanka. And yeah, of course, I am not married yet, then I don't have any idea, but as per the topic, I will plan with my future husband that we will go to church. I am Catholic and we will go to church and evening mass especially, because I love evening mass, and with a lot of guests. And with that guests, we have that means we have separate kind of masses. It's like hymn masses. It is like we are singing hymns more than prayers in that mass, and with orchestra, I have that kind of wedding plan, and with a lot of guests. And my brother is a priest, and I write to him as my wedding priest, and with a lot of guests. And even after wedding, we would like to go to newer area for visiting, like leisure time. In that wedding, we don't have that special lot of guest celebration or dinners. Because I am accountant, I don't like to spend more money on weddings, and I will have that kind of wedding, and it will be a very beautiful wedding with a lot of flowers and all arrangement, and hymns. That is the main target of my wedding, and we will have good photographer. He will give us a good photos and videos that will be a memory for our wedding, and we will have such kind of beautiful memory in, rather than photos, it will be in our memory forever. That's my fairy tale wedding. Over to you, table topic master.
Thank you, Sudharma. From your speech, you are giving us the financial lesson also, not to spend unnecessary money on wedding. Just spend the time with your loved ones, closed one, with flower and sweets and everything. Thank you for that. All right. So this is the end of the...
I think we can take one more person if someone wants to speak. We have a little time.
Sure, TMOD. One volunteer, please.
I can go.
Sorry.
Aparna here. May I go?
Yeah, sure, Aparna. So Aparna, the topic for you is, tell us your worst dating story. I repeat, tell us your worst dating story.
So, like Toastmaster sort of said, I dated in dinosaur's age. It's been so long, I'll tell you. But there is one story that is very clear in my mind. And I'm looking around just to make sure my in-laws are not here. But that said, so this was way back in 2009. And I had a huge crush on my manager, a huge crush on him. And of course, I was a little hesitant to go and ask him out on a date. Not that I was shy or anything, just hesitant because appraisal was around the corner. So who's going to risk it? So what I did, I devised a plan. I made a few friends set up a blind date, a few of his friends also involved, and I orchestrated my own blind date. It was blind for him, not for me. So we went out on a date and the conversation was amazing. The date itself was beautiful. We spoke till late in the night. And then the restaurant was closing and they chased us out. And then we continued further conversation on the footpath, having that cutting chai and all of that. A beautiful date. Now, Toastmaster Mamta is wondering, I asked for a horrible date. Why is she saying beautiful? Because he never called me again after that. And that was the end of that date, which could have been a fairy tale something, but never, it turned out to be okay. And later I found out the reason was because a friend of mine had told him that I was very unhappy with the date, which was not true. So a ton of unfortunate events and a good memory to cherish, and also a lesson learned that keep your communication clear. And if there's anyone in between, shoo them away. The date and you, the communication has to be clear. That's all. And back to you, table topic master Mamta.
Wow. Thank you, Aparna, for sharing. Date with the manager, date with the supervisor. Wow. I hope you are aware of all over here, all the people aware of the HR policies in your company. All right. We are at the end of the table topic round. Thank you everyone for participating and speaking so well. Back to you, TMOD of the day, Toastmaster Ayush Goel.
Thank you, Table Topic Master Mamta, for such an amazing table topic session, and all the speakers for coming up and speaking. So now I have a small fire round for you, like rapid fire round for you. I have a few questions and you would have to come up and speak up instantly. So I would like some volunteers who would like to come up first, or I shall call someone. Okay. Toastmaster Sanjana, you're first.
Okay.
1 second. So the questions are, you have to answer instantly. A food item you would always order on a first date.
Pizza.
What would be your preferred attire for the first date?
Shirt and t-shirt and pant.
A cheesy pickup line you have used.
I've never dated before, so I don't know.
Okay, a cheesy pickup line you would use.
I don't know. I need some advice on this.
Okay. If you were to date, if you wanted a celebrity to be a wingman or wingwoman, who would it be? Someone would be in your mind.
Actually, no.
Okay, no problem. So, can we have the next person? Thank you, Toastmaster Sanjana.
Can I
Yes,
go?
yes, Upasna.
Yes.
So, if your date was a hashtag, what would it be?
If my date was?
A hashtag.
Hashtag. It would be eat, watch movies.
What's the weirdest food you have tried on a first date?
I tried sushi, the non-veg one, and I did not like the taste. And after that, I dumped the guy also.
The best pickup line you have ever heard.
My day was not going good, but after seeing your beautiful Bengali eyes, I can say my day is gonna go well and the most awesome day.
Nice, I can use that. What's the first thing? What's the weirdest thing you ever tried on a first date? What's the weirdest thing you have said on a first date?
Said once I commented somebody on their dressing style, and later I found out that he is a fashion designer himself. Then he told me that this is a trend. After that, he blocked me. So
Thank you, Basna.
thank you.
Okay, Toastmasters. Okay, Toastmasters, when you are next.
Yeah.
Hmm. Okay, what's your go-to first date activity?
My go-to first date activity, can't think of it. Speaking and talking.
Okay, a fictional character you would like to date.
A fictional character I would
You
like
would
to
like
date.
to date.
Bunny from Ye Jawani Hai Diwani.
Okay. The funniest excuse you have used or heard to escape from a date, from first date, bad first date.
I just come back from the restroom.
Okay. A witty pickup line you can use.
Mm. Are you this available for everybody?
Okay. And the most embarrassing thing you have done on a first date.
Can't think of that.
Okay. Thank you, Toastmaster Dhwani.
Thank you.
Okay. Oh, I have set a question for the last person. Can I have just one more? Anyone would like to come? Yes, DDM Saurav. So, what's the funniest first date disaster you have heard from a friend?
He reached one day before the date that he was supposed to be. Like the date was on Friday, he reached on Thursday. He heard the time, not the day.
Okay. A cheesy pickup line you would use.
Can we say cheese together?
Okay, that was cheesy. Okay. What
It didn't
celebrity?
work. Yeah. Yeah.
A celebrity who you would like to be your wingman.
A celebrity I would like to be my wingman.
Hmm.
Okay. Virat Kohli.
Okay, nice. And I have a last question. Okay. A funniest first day prank.
I played or someone played on me or I heard someone play on someone. What's
I think you can answer both.
the funniest first day prank that I played? It's not a prank. It was like a blooper. I went on a date with someone and then I didn't see her face and neither did I ask her name. I said yes when she proposed to me, and then it was a weekend. So when I came back on Monday, I had to actually go around the entire college looking who was that girl that I said yes to. So that was one, and something that someone played on me is that I at the same college I had a hot for someone, and I went and proposed that girl. This was before the other incident, and I was very nervous. I went and told her I love you, and she said that okay, let me think. I said no time to think. She said, you have to give the answer now itself. I said, yeah, right now, in the next 30 seconds. She said, then it's a no. I said, thank you. And then I left. I was so relieved because there was too much of peer pressure to go and propose.
Okay. So I've just ready time. I can just call one more person. I will call Yajna.
Yajna's sister is there on the call, so that's why she's avoiding taking this.
Okay. So I was asked to call her. Okay. For my defense. Now we'll move on to the third section of the meeting. That is our evaluation section. For that, I would like to call back our general evaluator, Toastmaster Abhishek, to tell us how did the meeting and our roles go. Over to you, general evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ayush, and I think he deserves a huge, huge round of applause for the wonderful display of how a Toastmaster will how to use the theme so well and how to get the most out of the audience. Before I go down deep into my observations and my pointers, I would like first to call upon Distinguished Toastmaster Nagesh to give his evaluations on our first speaker, Distinguished Toastmaster Nancy.
Thank you, Toastmaster General Evaluator. Furball to fireball. I kind of had guessed what would be coming in the speech today in the icebreaker, but I was defeated. There were so many things that I had not expected came through in the speech. The first and foremost thing that surprised me was that somebody giving speech, the icebreaker outside the club. I thought it was the rule since the inception of this club. Didn't realize that that's the rule setter. She's this rule maker kind of a thing. So first thing I would say is I learned about the rule setter. Second thing, she's somebody who is a ruler as well. Ruler in the sense that measures somebody's growth. And the third one is again a ruler, somebody who pushes everybody as a fireball to see that everybody's speech's goals are met. So rule, ruler, and ruler is what I would, I have taken it from the speech. Secondly, I would say also it was self-congratulatory kind of a speech where I could gather that she had realized that there has been some areas where she still frets. This public speaking, she might be a DTM, but she still feels that there is some areas where there needs to be an improvement. It takes, she used the word like rampant and toll and things like that, goes haywire and things like that. So I would say there has been a kind of self-awareness which was displayed in the speech. Thirdly, I would like to say that when she talked about 10 days ago, she had got a speaking opportunity to talk about the imposter syndrome. There was a self-realization for self-development, because there was once, it reminded me of a wise man who had to advise a kid to stop eating sugar, and the mother was asked to bring the kid after 10 days. You all know the story. So what I saw here in the icebreaker was self-opportunity for self-development. So I would say that there has been a lot of insights that we could gather from this particular speech. However, I was waiting for one good thing that could have happened in the speech. It is said that a great man is the one who does not lose his child's heart. Now, I wanted to know where is that heart for DTM Nancy? Not the date-wise, which is the theme, but from the requirement of the Toastmasters. What is the future of DTM Nancy in Toastmasters? Is something that I was waiting to hear in this particular icebreaker speech. Barring that, I think the speech was very good. We got to know a little more about how she looks at her self-development, what is her self-awareness level, and how self-congratulatory is she sometimes, is what I got to know. With that, back to you, General Evaluator.
Nagesh, a well-composed, written evaluation. Before I go into my evaluation of evaluating the speaker, I would like Toastmaster Triveni to give me the timings for both the speaker one and Distinguished Toastmaster Nancy, and the timing for Distinguished Toastmaster Nancy.
DTM Nancy took 6 minutes 25 seconds, and DTM Nagesh took 3 minutes 29 seconds.
Now everybody was thinking of why I asked the timings so in between the waiting for her to do the full report is because I wanted to understand and make everyone know how to use your timing. Distinguished Toastmaster Nadesh had 3 minutes 30 seconds. He used complete 3 minutes 29 seconds explaining everything in detail. So was Distinguished Toastmaster Nancy. But I'm not seeing Distinguished Toastmaster Nancy anymore in the meeting. So I would skip her part of evaluations at the moment. Distinguished Toastmaster Nadesh, being a seasoned Toastmaster, and I know, and you must have been participating in a lot of evaluation contests and everything. So what I would, as it is my personal view, I know that everybody has their own way of doing evaluations. But as a seasoned Toastmasters, you must show the other younger ones how they should evaluate in a contest. Because contest season will be coming in a few months' time. And what happens in a contest is that you get marks for giving recommendations. It's around 50% of the marks awarded in the recommendations and less on the commendations. So if it could have been just, and because now Distinguished Toastmaster Nancy was giving an icebreaker, so definitely we always have a soft corner for the icebreakers and we don't give much of the recommendations and we give more emphasis on the commendations. But because she is already a Distinguished Toastmaster, and I am sure that this is her 3rd or 4th icebreaker. So if you could have just have some more recommendations on her part, at least one more apart from the one which you were thinking of, but how she presented her speech, if it could have been given a recommendation on that for her self-improvement, as well as for making it understanding for the younger ones also, that how you should present a recommendation. That's the only cherry picking, or you can say nitpicking from your evaluations, which I could have got. Otherwise, it was a well-crafted evaluation speech. Thank you, Distinguished Toastmaster. So next, our speaker was Toastmaster Ritvik, and for his evaluation, I would call Toastmaster Paduka Kanan on the video.
Body language is the most powerful tool, isn't it? And in fact, it is more powerful than the words itself. Rise and shine, Gabbys. Good to see you again. Toastmaster Ritvik has attempted to give his speech to refine his body language. And looking at his speech, it looks like he's coming out of his comfort zone, right? So it definitely should be challenging for him. That's what I think so. So Toastmaster Ritvik, please let me know if that's the case for you as well. Right? Since you're nodding, I take it as a yes. So coming to the content of your speech, yes, it was a well-structured speech. You had some good usage of grammar as well, such as grimacing, use the word of the day, alluring and all. So good to that. In fact, you added towards the end about the reasons, the lessons that you have learned as well, like 2 messages. Good on that part. However, the last sentence that you have completed is, I'll take a pause here, and that's my time. So maybe you could, rework on your script, at least the last line. Maybe you got a little bit panic seeing the timer, but still the last line, you could work on that. Now, coming to the most important part is the delivery, because the purpose of this project itself for me to evaluate your body language. So you did use open hands. Thankfully, you didn't have any clasp hands, even though I could see that anxiousness on your face, on your complete body. I mean, I could really feel it for the screen that you were anxious, but you tried to use the open hands. Good job on that. And in fact, you at one point in time when you're talking about the reasons, you use this kind of body language, which is good. In fact, the communicators tell whenever you wanted to state a point, it's good to use this kind of language. However, you need to work on few things. The first thing is the energy itself, right? So as I said, throughout the speech, even though you try to imitate your friend and yourself, but it was a little bit monotonous, Toastmaster Ritvik, right? And number 2 is your gestures. Apart from open hands, you could use some more gestures. When you say climb up the hill, or even in fact use some props, right? You try to use the stick, but we cannot able to see it on the camera. I just know you took it. And to be very honest, I don't know why you used a tripod. You just showed like this for a second and you just pushed it away, right? I do understand. I completely understand that the effort that you took to improve your body language, the speech. However, my suggestion for you is to take again this topic if possible. Okay. Even though you try to attempt it, that is a good thing. But the body language is more of a non-verbal communication, not just only the props, but your gestures, your energy, your eye contact, your facial reactions, all these part. So Toastmaster Ritvik, with a little bit of more energy, right? And a bit of more expressions and gestures, I'm sure you could do a better speech in this area. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Paduka, for that wonderful evaluation. And timer, can we have the timings for both the speaker and
Your Toastmaster Ritik took 6 minutes 11 seconds and Paduka took 3 minutes 18 seconds.
Thank you, Toastmaster. So first coming to Toastmaster Paduka. Toastmaster Paduka, great energy, and it's a great way to motivate the speaker when the evaluator is speaking such a lot of energy. And you had all the points which I had, almost all the points covered there. But I would just like to have one pointer for you again, nitpicking here, because I'm hearing all of you for the very first time. You have pointed out certain recommendations for Toastmaster. However, if you could have elaborated it, how he would have used it. He has done something which you didn't, which he could have improved on. How he could have improved. If you could have just demonstrated that, it could have helped him out in using that particular point to correct it in his next speeches. That's the only recommendation which I have. Otherwise, it was a well-crafted and again a well-rounded up evaluation. Kudos to you. Thank you very much. Toastmaster Ritvik, as your evaluator said, it seemed that you were coming out of your comfort zone, and this is something which is not your what we say comfort zone. Again, you were not very much comfortable in doing the activities and all you were doing on the stage. The first thing to overcome this is to have your camera in a perfect position. If your camera positioning would have been good, you could have gotten a wider angle and all the props would have been much more clear. Because and your eye contact was also going down because you had your camera at the downward position and you were looking down. If it would have been an eye level, you would have got a wider scope of your stage, you would have got a better picture out of it. Second, you had a voice modulations in between, trying to have the Kannada tone to your English dialect, but your friend and you, when you use this particular dialect, both were sounding similar. Right? So voice modulation, even if you're using voice modulation, that voice modulation was common for both you and your friend. Secondly, while doing that Kannada dialect, you were using the word that which is generally used in Kannada like ra. So try to avoid that bringing in that colonial languages in it. You had a good hand gestures, and I would agree somewhere with the evaluator that your body language were there. Your hand gestures were very good. I really loved your hand gestures. And you had that slideshow and everything that you were sliding out on the hills and everything was really beautiful, which was the project objective, showing your body language and displaying the acts which you wanted to speak through your body language. However, if you could just work on your camera position, it's a bit of voice modulations and take the pointers from the evaluator's point, you will be doing great because you had that content. It's just that presentation has to improve. All the best for your future speeches. So both, can we have a round of applause for both the speaker and the evaluator? Come on, Gabbys, show some energy. Still the morning. So now for our third speaker, Toastmaster Sanjana, let's have another experienced Toastmaster, distinguished Toastmaster Saurav on the podium.
Thank you. Before I start, can we have Sanjana also on spotlight, please? And the evaluator.
Can you do so? I think distinguished Toastmaster Saurav, yes, both of them.
I'm also putting the timer. Give me 1 second, please. Okay. So we can start. Sanjana, as Nancy mentioned, I think you are a complete package, and we know that. There's a lot of confidence which is there in your speech every time you speak. So I'll not talk about the more obvious one. Let me talk about things that you probably would want to understand. So a couple of things that you did really well today. One, repetition of the title again and again and again. You can do it. I think this is one thing you had as this title, and this is one of the best ways of reinforcing the message with your audience. And you did it with a lot of passion. So you just say, you can do it. You're like, you can do it. Every time you came in front of the screen, you kind of got inside our head here. Second, a very subtle use of humor and sprinkled all over the speech and various forms of humor. So I also have seen speakers who have a subtle use of humor, but they do it in certain batches. It was like, it was more like a garnishing on a donut that you had sprinkled sugar. It was something like that humor, very beautifully sprinkled all over the donut. Loved it. The third, the drama, the prop usage, the variety that you had, all of that put together created a very compelling presentation in itself. And the content, it was absolutely at a top-notch level because you had a very good build up to the entire story. I mean, we were all kind of hooked onto the story. We wanted to know what was happening and the way it came across. Now, there are a couple of things that I would want you to pay attention to. One, if you go back and see your video, and if you just use some kind of a image or a video software, video to action or text software, you will see 70% of your gestures are this, right? So avoid that. Any kind of mannerisms is distracting, and the speaker gets identified with the mannerism. So for example, you would want people to remember you as, oh, Sanjana, the one who talked about that introduction to mentorship program. Not for like, oh, Sanjana, right? That's not what you want to be remembered as. So that's one thing that you have to be very careful about. Second, your pace still is at an all-time high, right? I don't know about you. I mean, you are very fit and you are a badminton player, a champion badminton player at that. So I'm pretty sure you are doing fine, but many of us have got exhausted just by listening to you. After your speech got over, I could literally see some of us, panting for breath, gasping for breath. So give us a little bit of space, give us a little bit of time to absorb your content, soak that in, appreciate what you are saying, and then move on. Slow down, slow down, slow down. Because when you're going in a contest, the judges may feel exasperated because of just that speed that you have. So you will have to rein that in. And I know you have got a mentor who will work on it. So to summarize, a complete package, good with humor, good with content, good with the use of props, drama, role play. Everything was bang on. 2 recommendations. One, reduce repetition of the same gestures again and again, and slow down. Manage your pace a little better. Thank you. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Saurabh, and that's how do an evaluation. Timing speaks for both the evaluator and the speaker.
Toastmaster Sanjana took 7 minutes 15 seconds and DTM Saurav took 3 minutes 15 seconds.
Thank you, Toastmaster Triveni. For distinguished Toastmaster Saurav, it was a pitch perfect evaluation. Only if you can work on your introduction paragraph while starting the evaluation, you can add a quote or something in that sort. It will be the cherry on the cake, and your entire evaluation will have been much better displayed. Apart from them, it was the way I wanted evaluation to happen, to have this recommendations and then recommendation explaining why you want the speaker to have that particular thing and why you want the speaker to work on that particular thing. So explaining what she did wrong, not so good way, but why you don't want her to repeat that again. Explaining that also to the speaker, that gives the speaker motivation to use the feedback. That was the lovely way to distinguish Toastmasters. And that is why we have experienced Toastmasters in our fraternity. Show us that how we should explain things, because giving recommendations doesn't help the speaker. How to use that recommendations and why to use that recommendation, that is more important. Kudos to you for that, distinguished Toastmaster. Now coming to Toastmaster Sanjana. I think she is a powerhouse. Huge amount of energy. And as distinguished Toastmaster sort of said, that we were exhausted after your speech. You have to tone it down a bit. Because if as he said that you had humor across your speech, but if the speed is so much, me as an audience might miss out on those mistakes. If I'm not getting the joke, I will not laugh on it. And that will lose the points. Because we don't know whether the contest will be offline or online. In online mode, sitting on the screen and talking to the black boxes, it is very difficult to understand how the audience expressions are, whether they are liking your jokes or not. You have to pace it out, give some pauses in between. Secondly, you had some voice modulations, but that has to be worked upon because you tried to use it, but it was not that much distinct. Apart from that, a great take on the particular theme, objective of your speech. And the biggest plus point for me was when you were trying to conclude your speech, the emotions, the respect for your mentor, which was coming out, was reverberating. I felt that emotions with me also, that you truly respect and love your mentor. And thankful for your mentor to attend all your speeches, because being a mentor myself, it becomes practically impossible for me to attend all the speeches. But if she is taking out time, you should be very much grateful that she is taking out time for you. And I would call upon all the Gabbys to have a round of applause for the speaker, for the evaluator, and for the mentor all this way. So now, quickly, I will be going through my evaluations for the table topic speakers. First was Toastmaster Dhwani, our Sergeant at Arms, and the grammarian. Where are you? Yeah. First thing, she loves to talk. So you have the best SAR in place. Because if anyone is late or someone joins early, she will be handling the audience well. Because she doesn't miss any opportunity to speak. And that is something which is the trademark of a good Toastmaster. Close to you, Toastmaster. You had a great explanation of your perfect date, how you had your first perfect date. But at the end, if you could have concluded that this was my idea, the stand-up comedy was my idea of a perfect date, because that is what I love. So if it was a perfect date for me, all the audience, you should have given a take back that you should think the perfect date what you like, not what the other person likes. Because perfection is a relative term. It might be perfect for you, but not perfect for them. So think from your perspective to make this perfect. Otherwise, I really love, because I could have visualized your day, the way you were explaining it, and you were having a gala time, reliving that particular. And all the best for your future days. Next was Toastmaster Chitrakshi. Where is she? Is she there? Toastmaster Chitrakshi, can you come up on the video? I pronounced your name correctly this time. Last time around, I was continuously calling her Chitrakashi, right? Chitrakashi. I was keep on calling her out, even though I have written Chitrakshi. So today I have called out your name, pronounced your name correctly. Is love blind? So you started with a great example by bringing out Mahatma Gandhi and his 3 monkeys. You explained your first date, but I was looking for the correct or the perfect answer from your side, and whether love is actually a blind or not, to conclude your speech. That was the part which was missing. So apart from that, it was a great take again. You explained your first date as well, because that was the theme of the day, and everybody was loving to relive their first dates. So all the best for your future take. Just work on the conclusion of the day. Next was Toastmaster Jitendra. Imagine you are in 2050 and dating the AI. I can't even. I hardly had dates with humans. I don't know what I would do. Again, a great great take on the topic. You agreed to the topic. You explained why AI will be the ones whom we will be dating because there will be no humans available. Everybody will be busy. And AIs are in hand. In fact, has taken over most of our life and most of our time. We are using AI everywhere. You had huge amount of time left to explain it because you just concluded as soon as the card came. So if you could just work upon your time, you had another 1 minute to go. So we would have loved more about how you would have planned a date. That if you were going with a date, because you agreed with the topic. So how would have been your date? If a bit of explanation could have come. So that personal concept, as we say that in table topics, we should have a personal story. So that would have mixed it up. That's the only thing which you can work upon it. Otherwise, great takeaway. Next was Toastmaster Upasana. Is it better to loved and lost or never loved at all? Great. I have loved the confidence which you had and the great vocal quality you had. Only recommendation for you is if you could have bring one story of your life where you happened to this and people left you out. Though you were heartbroken at that time, but you still may remember those beautiful moments when you were loved. Added a cherry on. Next, we had guest Akashika. I hope I am see her on the stage. So let's keep her. Then distinguished Toastmaster Saurav, what are your thoughts on PDA? So again, as I have been newly elected area director, so I also have the same concept in my mind because our club group director is just pushing us, be a president distinguished area, be a president distinguished area, make your area as a president. So that was the only thing which was going on. And bringing that into the table topic, that shows the great presence of mind. You have this particular PDA and this. Apart from that, great take on the topic. Only he should have worked. I don't know whether he's still there. Yeah, sorry, he's there. So if you can just work on the conclusion part, it would have been a great take on this topic. Next was I don't know whether it's guest Sudharma or Toastmaster Sudharma. Future Toastmaster.
Yeah,
Are you a Toastmaster, future Toastmaster?
Toastmaster.
Toastmaster. So your topic was what would be your fairy tale? I love the entire description. Being myself an accountant, I don't like people spending money on too much of what we say societal display of your emotions. But I would have loved if you could have shown that satisfaction or emotions on your face while you were delivering your speech. But that was the disconnect which I was finding, that you were just narrating something, but you were not loving it, or that was not coming out from your fairy tale, very which you are willing to have in future. That emotion has to come. Just work upon that emotions, connect, facial expression. You are a chartered accountant, or you just become chartered accountant. So we chartered accountant doesn't have those facial expressions. So we have to work upon that. Because communication is something which is not our bread and butter. We always work upon numbers and Excel sheets. So emotions doesn't come in. But we have to work. That is why we are in Toastmasters. That is something which we have to work on. Right? All the best. Then we had Toastmaster Aparna. I don't know whether she's a distinguished Toastmaster or Toastmaster. Is she a distinguished Toastmaster?
No, not yet.
Toastmaster Aparna, tell us your worst dating story. Now, what can be a tragedy that you plan your date and that becomes a worst date? She had everything in place, but the date never called back. Great emotions, great take, lovely. Conclusion you have to work upon. I know the topic was not that he could have a very good conclusions because it was all related to date. But being experienced Toastmasters, we have to conclude our speeches. That's all from my side for all the tabletop speakers. Now, let me evaluate the entire meeting as a whole. Unfortunately, I was late and I apologize once again to the club, the Gabbys. So I can't have any commendations or recommendations for our Sergeant at Arms, and Presiding Officer. So quickly moving to our Toastmaster of the day. You had a beautiful theme. If I would have loved it more, if you could have linked the 3 sections of the Toastmasters meeting to your theme, how that would have helped you in transition. Now, how you could have done it is date. First section is prepared speech. And when you are going for your first date, you plan a lot of things. In the similar fashion, when we plan for our prepared speeches. That's how you explain, link your theme with the explanations to the 3 sections of the meeting. Secondly, the impromptu speech section. You have planned everything for your first date, but there are situations which comes in when we are not prepared for it. And that is what our second section is. When the table topic master will call upon you, must have planned a lot of things. I will say this, I will say that. But when the topic is coming, you become blank. That's how you link it. And how you link the general evaluation section to the first day is the conclusion, as everybody has explained. What is the result of the day, first day? Whether he's calling you back or she's calling you back, or whether you're going for the date. As you practice said, that it was a worst person to go on for the first date, but she's still continuing with him for the last 2.5 years. So that is the conclusion or the result or the outcome of the day, which is going to be coming out in the general evaluation section. That what is the outcome of our meeting, whether we think well, but where are the things which we go out. So that's how you link your theme with the 3 sections while introducing the 3 sections. So if you can just do that, it would be better way. Secondly, the name of the mentors have to be mentioned, but this is while introducing the speaker, because that is the only point where everybody knows who is mentoring the speaker. That is where the mentors get recognition. So please, because if we don't have mentors in Toastmasters, we as the individual speakers, we won't be going long term. The growth, we don't have that growth in our journey in the Toastmasters. So let's recognize the contribution of our mentors by mentioning them while introducing the speaker. Second, the transition between the 3 sections. While the prepared speech section got concluded and you went back to your theme. So I don't want you to specify this that the prepared speech section has concluded. Now let's go back to the theme. That transition has to be very smooth. Just work upon it. Last, you had great introductions to all the speakers and the evaluators and the table topic master and myself. Just imagine Toastmaster Ayush. All these role players are coming back on the podiums, and you are the Toastmaster of them. How better you will be introduced. Because these will be the same introductions. My professional life, Toastmaster Nagesh's professional life, or distinguished Toastmaster Saurav's professional life. These will be constant. How will you introduce them better? Ask them one question from the theme related to your theme. That will change the introduction every time when you are on as a Toastmaster. And the same individuals are taking up the roles. Otherwise, it will become monotonous. Okay, Toastmaster Ayush has told that Toastmaster Abhishek is the treasurer, vice president, education, president of Kolkata Toastmasters. I'll come again next week. Again, you will give me the same introduction. But how will the people know me better? By asking that question, which will be always unique, because you will not have the same theme running out again and again. Right? Just get that information into the place. Apart from that, great job done, great interaction with the audience, great involvement of the audience by calling them over on the podium. One more thing, when you are having these audience interactions, try to have those people on the podium who have not spoken, so that they don't feel left out. Right? All the best for your future roles as a Toastmaster of the day. Next, we had the table topic master, Toastmaster Mamta. Beautifully, you explained the benefits of table topics, how it will be benefiting not only in the Toastmasters but outside the Toastmasters world as well. I would love to have 2 recommendations for you. First, you as a table topic master, there might be people who have joined once after the grammarian have given the word of the day. So it is recommended that as a table topic master, you can just repeat the word of the day alluring, so that everybody who has joined after the grammarian's role introduction, they also know that, okay, this is the word of the day and I might use it. So that is one recommendation for you. And second, you didn't specify the guest rule, that guests have an opportunity to change the topic once. I don't know whether you remember this or you just missed it out on this, but the guests have an opportunity, if they don't feel comfortable in while on the first topic you have given them, they can change the topic once. So remember this on the table. And apart from that, great topics all related to the theme. And because it was all related to the theme, I didn't raise my hand for going on the table, because that was something which was, I would not have any content to say on, because I am not one of the team. So that was the only thing why I did raise my hand. Otherwise, I am the first one to raise up my hands on the table topics. Now, that was all from my side. One thing for overall meeting, I would love all the experienced Toastmasters to refrain themselves, text in the chat box while the speakers are giving their speeches. There was too much chattering on the chat box today. I didn't really like it. As a guest, I've visited this club for the first time. I would love to have people not typing in the chat box when the prepared speakers are giving speeches or the evaluators are giving their evaluation speeches. Please refrain from that, because it distracts me as a general evaluator and it distracts the speakers as well, because those things pop up on their screen as well. Apart from that, it was a great meeting. Now I would like to call upon my team who have helped me out in controlling the meeting. So let me have Toastmaster Triveni to give me the timings for the table topic speakers.
Yeah, all the speakers were qualified, and kudos for all the speakers. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Toastmaster Triveni. Just one recommendation for you. If because it is not only imperative that I have qualified for the voting, but it was also important to know what was my time. So if you can just display that on the screen once, these are the timings, and so that all the table topic speakers can note that if they are spoken very less or very more, just near to the red card or something, they will be able to time themselves better in the future. Okay. Thank you for that. Now let's quickly move to our counter, Toastmaster Abigail. Toastmaster Abigail, you are on mute.
Hi. Today, I would like to present some couple of hours and which you guys used. First, Abhishek Ji, he has used 2 hours, and I myself have used 1 Nagesh sir has used 3 hours. Ritvik has used 1 hour and 1 repetitive word. Paduka has used 1 Saurabh sir has used like that once. Sanjana has used 1 short pause. Sudama has used 6 hours, 5 like that. So I'll present it. Is it possible? Okay, I'll just upload it in the group.
Thank you, Toastmaster Abigail. Very well done. Next, we have our grammarian, Toastmaster Funny.
Hi, yes, just give me a minute. I want to present my screen, please. It'll be very quick. Yeah. So, can you all see my screen? So the word of the day was allure. 2 people used it today, Toastmaster Abhishek and Toastmaster Ritvik. Certain good usages in the meeting were goof up, nuances for creating a good speech, stalwarts, a fur ball, baffled, sprinkled sugar, haywire, dejected, and a bit more. I'm being a bit quick here because of the time. Certain rhetorical devices that we used majorly today was anaphora, rhetorical questions. Anaphora is basically the repetition of a word or phrase at the beginning of a successive clause, which means you can see over here in the example that I've written, after 5 hours off, after 3 hours off, look after you, look after your date. A little more dejected, a little more disappointed. So the words that I use in the starting are the repetitive words, which can be denoted as anaphora. Rhetorical questions are questions where there is no answer implied to it. Was that a date? Body language is the most powerful tool, isn't it? I have similar dress. How is it possible? Then we also used hyperphora, rule of 3, and metaphor in the meeting. Rule of 3 is come on, come on, come on, no, no, no. Metaphor is comparison, like I dated in dinosaurs' age. Hyperphora is where there's question and then answer given. How many of you were present in my first icebreaker? No one, where the answer was given immediately. Certain recommendations for the meeting is as a individual. Instead of that, let's say it as an individual. And get the heart broken. There is no much similarities, not much similarities. There will be memory of the wedding, would be the memory of the wedding as it is in past. Or in the future, which you're saying. Maybe you get a little bit panicked seeing the timer. Maybe you got a bit panicked seeing the timer. The little bit does not go hand in hand. It's grammatically incorrect. A good hand gestures had good hand gestures. If the speed is so much, if the speed is so fast paced. So that's been my report. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you, Toastmaster Dhwani. That was a well-crafted report. Just one recommendation for you: while giving your introduction, you said that I will be noting down incorrect usages of grammar. We generally don't use negative words. Can just use not so good usages of grammar. That's what's called the competitions. Now we have Toastmaster Sanjay as our listener, and he will test whether we actually listen. Or we were just new students.
Yeah, thank you, Abhishek. I will be going directly to the question. Nancy, in her speech, said she is a dash engaged member of the club. Who would like to take? Only the speaker and evaluator are not qualified. Others can. I think so. Abhishek only has raised. Yeah. Then Abhishek, you can tell. Yeah.
He's a charter member.
No, means engaged member.
Second youngest.
Yeah, you're right, Saurabh. Yeah, second engaged. Yeah. Then Ayush Goel mentioned which show he had gone on his first date.
Akash Gupta.
Comedy show.
Akash Gupta, comedy show. No? Yeah.
I think that was too much.
Okay, I'll go to other question. Ritvik Raj had how many friends to go for his first track? How many number of friends he had means for his first track? Yeah.
10.
Yeah, you are right. Yeah. Upasana is right. Last, I will be asking. Ritvik Raj was carrying equipment. Which equipments he was carrying during his track?
Tripod and the camera.
Tripod and one more equipment was there. Yeah.
Camera.
Yeah, you are right. I think so, Saurabh. I am not able to see you, but I think so by voice. Saurabh.
It was Abhishek.
Abhishek. Oh, yeah. Abhishek is the listener of the day. Sorry, I was little. I was not able to see the face. So that is the thing. Yeah. Sorry. Abhishek is the listener of the day. Thank you. Over to Abhishek. Yeah.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sanjay. And that is all my report and my team players report. So I would hand it back to our wonderful Toastmaster of the day, which was Ayush, everyone. The represents of the first dates back to Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, General Evaluator and the team for the detailed and wonderful evaluation. Now with this, I would like to conclude please vote. I think we won't have the vote for the prepared speeches.
Yeah, no speakers poll. Only the polls for the evaluations, those role takers and the auxiliary role takers. Ayush, you can close and hand over to the PO. He can do the closing.
So I would like to just conclude my session by saying that first dates would be good. They might be bad, but it is always these things will happen. So just keep going, and if it is good, good. If it is not bad, just wait for the next one. So with this, I would hand over the stage to our presiding officer, DTM Nagesh.
Thank you so much, TMOD, Ayush Goel. Amazing. What a theme it was. First I was thinking, how is it going to be the whole meeting? And you know what? Everybody went back to their memories, and everybody had something to say about this topic of the first date. Not just the first date. They went beyond the first date. They went where all in their memories, I don't know, but a lot of stories, lot of cats came out of the bag, right? Well, we have the polls going on. While you are voting for that, I will have to share one important thing as an announcement.
Just a small correction for the best evaluator. The last one is DTM Saurav and the first one is DTM Nagesh. So please vote in that way. I'm sorry I put the same
No problem.
name.
No problem. So the last one is DTM Saurav. Please vote. Okay, the announcement I was coming at. The Gabbys belongs to area B1, and we all belong to a division called as Division B in District 92, isn't it? So Division B is hosting the world champion speaker, Mohammad Katani, today afternoon at 4 o'clock. Many of you would have registered for it. So my request here would be, as members of this club, if you have registered, please don't miss, because he is the king of humor in Toastmasters. Secondly, if you have not registered or you have missed, please watch out for the announcement that are going to come in various WhatsApp groups as to how you can watch it live online. So with that, let me move on to the announcement of the results. The best auxiliary role player is, no drama here. I'll quickly wrap this up because we are 12 minutes late in this meeting. Toastmaster Dhwani. Give her a big round of applause for her role of grammarian. Now, the best role taker goes to our wonderful date maker, TMOD Ayush Goel. And the last one, the best evaluator goes to DTM Nagesh. I'm sorry, the last one, DTM Saurav Datta. Give him a big round of applause. With that, I conclude this meeting. And
sir, there is one more poll. Best table topic speaker. Best table topic speaker.
Oh yes, how did I miss? Everybody talked about their best dates. I end the poll and then view the results. Oh, this is amazing. You've seen people sharing role takers. This is DTM Saurav and Toastmaster Aparna taking the certificates for the best table topic speakers. Give everybody a big round of applause. With that, I close the meeting number 142, and we can stop the recording in case we want to have a small chit chat.